Hello everybody, this is Drew Jenkins with OnRamp. I want to thank you all for joining today. We're going to go through an overview of OnRamp's partner program and then do a live demo of our portal. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As far as the agenda is concerned, just do a quick introduction. I'm going to do one slide on OnRamp just for those of you that either are not familiar exactly with what we do, or maybe those that need a little refresher. We'll just talk about our services. Then we'll get into the benefits of partnering with OnRamp, how to become an OnRamp partner. Then we'll get into the demo, and then we'll have a bit of time for questions and answers. As far as questions and answers are concerned, the way we're doing things today is they need to be submitted through the chat functionality in the ReadyTalk conference application. So just on the lower left-hand side of your screen, if you have questions, just submit those, and I'll address them at the conclusion of the demo. So, without further ado, a little bit about me. I'm the Senior Director of the Channel Partner Program here at OnRamp. What that means is ultimately I'm responsible for our channel revenue, along with the development of the program, the management of the partner relationships, training, recruiting, etc. Prior to joining OnRamp, well, I'll just say I've been in this business for quite a while. Prior to joining OnRamp, I was at SoftLayer, which was acquired by IBM a while ago, and I was there for several years. I started the channel program there and ran it, and then before SoftLayer, I was at Rackspace, where I was a regional manager in the channel sales organization. So the point here is, I've been in this business for quite a while, and I've been working with channel sales organizations the entire time. So, as far as OnRamp is concerned, here's just one slide on our services. And simply put, what we provide are managed hosting, co-location, private clouds, and hybrid environments. So really what that means for our partners and their customers is a lot of flexibility. There are a lot of providers out there that provide managed hosting services, and there are a lot of co-location providers as well, but there aren't very many that do both. So the fact that we do both opens a lot of additional doors for our partners. It gives them additional ways to say yes, additional reasons to say yes, and it also helps them to add additional value to the customers that they're working with. We see a lot of customers come in that want a combination of these services, so a hybrid environment. They may come in as a co-location customer and slowly begin to migrate into a managed hosting environment as their hardware that they've co-located becomes obsolete. On the other side of the coin, we also have a lot of managed hosting customers that, for whatever reason, have specific devices that need to be co-located. The point here is we can accommodate them either way. Establishing connectivity between the two environments is not an issue at all, or establishing connectivity from their environment at OnRamp and an environment that they have on-prem. That's also not an issue. So there's a lot of flexibility here when it comes to the data center services that we provide. Another major differentiator for us is our focus on security and compliance. We have carved out a niche in the industry for providing expertise around compliance such as HIPAA, PCI, SOX, etc. So there are a lot of providers out there that can provide the infrastructure needed for environments that have a variety of compliance needs. But at OnRamp, we provide additional value around, or I should just say above and beyond just the infrastructure. So there's expertise here to help our customers and our partners know exactly what needs to be done, who is responsible for what, etc., when it comes to establishing compliant environments. And that goes with whether it's a hosted environment or a co-location environment. We have the expertise on hand to provide a lot of guidance as far as that is concerned. And then lastly, for our co-location business, because we do provide managed hosting, we're also in a position where we can provide additional management around those co-location services. And what I mean by that is most co-location providers, they just provide the space, the power, and the connectivity. They don't, and they may have a remote hand service, but they don't have techs on staff that are already managing hosted environments. So because we have those people here, if you have customers that need co-location and they need a little bit more than remote hands, we can certainly help them with that. And our services are all provided out of our data centers in Austin, where we have 2, and in Raleigh, North Carolina, where we have 1. So, as far as the partner program is concerned, I want to share with you all a little bit about really what's in it for you. What's in it for you as an OnRamp partner. And we have multiple benefits available. From a compensation standpoint, our partners benefit from either referring us business or reselling our services. As a referral partner, a partner brings us qualified opportunities. We work with them, we bring them to a close, and we enter into an agreement directly with that customer. And then we pay the partner a commission based on the revenue that customer generates for OnRamp. There are a lot of advantages to that model, because as a referral partner, you're being compensated for bringing us the opportunities, but you're not responsible for any support or any billing. As a reseller, if your business model is set up that way, when you bring us opportunities, you sign with us, you are technically our customer. We're selling to you at a discount, which then you can use to increase your margins with the customers that you're working with. Either way, and we have some partners that do both. A lot of times it depends on how that partner's customer wants to do business, but the flexibility is there. As far as flexibility is concerned, for our referral partners, we compensate them. They have the choice of getting either a one-time payment, like a one-time lump sum, which you can see here in this schedule, varies from 50% of the first month's monthly recurring revenue all the way to 150% based on the size of the deal. Or our referral partners can get a monthly commission payment, which is quite popular. And those percentages are on here as well, and they vary, as you can see, from 5 up to 15%. And all those are available for the life of the agreement. So the plan's quite generous. It doesn't take much at all to move up the different scales here as far as the different types of partners are concerned. And there's flexibility in terms of, as a partner, how you want to get compensated. So we can accommodate a variety of different business models. We also are committed to ongoing enablement of our partners. To us, we realize that just signing up a partner doesn't mean they're going to be active and they're going to be happy and they're going to be engaged. You got to sign them up. You got to train them. You've got to help them to learn how to identify opportunities, and you've got to provide them resources once those opportunities are active. So we're committed to helping our partners do all those things. This webinar is an example. This webinar is made available to both prospective partners and existing partners. For our existing ones, we want to make sure they're aware of what's available to them in the portal. So we understand that enablement is not something that, it's not just an initial training session and then you're done. It's something that you have to continually do to educate your partners and help them to feel comfortable throughout the relationship. So we're very aware of that and we're committed to it. Part of that is providing resources. We've got dedicated sales, marketing, and technical resources for our partners. We have a very competent group here, and they're very eager to help out our partners and their customers. We also offer opportunities for reciprocal referrals and co-marketing activities. Now, a lot of our competitors talk about this, but not many actually deliver on it. And one thing I've learned in my time at OnRamp is that we are extremely flexible and eager when it comes to getting our partners involved. We provide managed services around our hosting and co-location, or around the hosting and co-location services that we provide. But frequently, our prospects ask for recommendations for providers of services that we don't do. And that's when we like to get our partners involved. And it happens quite a bit. In our opinion, everyone benefits. the customer benefits, the partner benefits, and we do too, because more often than not it helps to accelerate sales cycles for us. So we certainly like to get our active partners involved in deals whenever possible. And then we also have a resource-packed partner portal, which you all will see here in just a bit. But to sum things up, as far as benefits for our partners are concerned, we want to make it very easy for them to work with us. This is a competitive space, and partner programs vary in terms of what is made available, what the benefits are, etc. But we understand that partners want to work with companies that, in addition to providing excellent, a variety of services and a focus on customer support, they want to work with companies that are easy to do business with, and OnRamp is certainly that. So now that I've covered these benefits that are available to our partners, let's talk a little bit about what's the process for becoming a partner. So it starts with just a simple application, which is available at partners.onr.com or from our homepage, which I'll show you all in just a bit. But if a company is interested in partnering with OnRamp, all they need to do is fill out this application. It asks for very basic information, but one thing that's important is it does ask for information about what they do. And we take this information, once we approve that partner, we take this information and we use it to categorize our partners by the services they provide, so we can quickly get them involved when there are opportunities that we can get them involved in, that they can add value to. So we don't ask for much on the application, but what we do ask for is very useful. So once the application is submitted, there is, first of all, there's acknowledgement that we've received it. So we begin, from the very beginning, we're committed to communication. We want these prospective partners to know where they stand. This notice lets them know that they'll be contacted within 48 hours by a member of the channel sales team here. In reality, it's more often than not, it's the same day. But once we receive that application, then we reach out to the prospective partner for qualification. Once we do that qualification, and qualification entails a detailed phone call just to learn more about what they do, how often they're working with prospects and customers that need our services, what's most important to them about partnering with OnRamp. We like to provide an overview of what benefits are available to them. And then if both parties decide it makes sense to establish a partnership, that's what we do. So once that's approved, the partner gets notification just like this. And as you can see in this letter, or hopefully you can see it, I realize the font's kind of small, but they get a login to the partner portal. Once they log in, they're prompted to change their password, and away they go. But the point here is we don't waste any time once we approve a partner to trying to get them engaged. So now that we've gone through the benefits and what it takes to become a partner, let's get into the demo. Okay, so you all should see the home page to the OnRamp website here. I wanted to start here just because I want to show how to get to the application. So all you have to do is click on Partners, and then here we are at the home page of the Partner Portal. And even though this is just like the welcome page, there's good information here. For starters, you've got just here in the middle, just basic information about how to join, where to go to apply, etc. And then across the top, you've got some good information here as well about the program itself. What are the benefits available? So in addition to compensation, you've got, excuse me, I clicked on the wrong tab. You've got, it shows what is available for each partner, or for our partners at each level, or at each tier within the partnership. There's a lot of stuff here. And then also why OnRamp. Why OnRamp? Under this tab, you see good information about some of our differentiators, what helps us to stand out in the marketplace. So again, even though this is just the the home page of our portal, even before logging in, there's good information for prospective partners. To apply, you can click in a number of places here or up at the top, etc. And then there's the contact tab here as well. So let's go ahead and log in. So now that we're in, you've got a summary of features here in the middle of the page and links to different places to go within the portal. And then again, you've got simple navigation across the top. And I'm just going to work through these tabs. So under the Home tab, this is where a user can come in and set or adjust a profile for their company and also set up individual profiles. So one thing that's helpful with our portal is within a specific company that's partnered with us, they can create multiple user logins. So that's very helpful for partners that have larger sales forces where they've got multiple people that are working with customers that need our services. So there's not just one person responsible for submitting leads, etc. So under My Profile, this is where you can edit your personal profile. Under Account Profile, this is where one can go and add a user if they want to do that. You can see it asks for basic information. If things change within your company and there are different services that you're providing or no longer providing, here's where you can make adjustments. And then change password and log out, those are quite self-explanatory. But good information here when it comes to creating a profile and how to add additional users. So under Sales Tools, this is where there is a really good variety of sales and marketing information it's already made, it's ready for download, it's ready to be used. So as you can see, we've got co-branded sales and marketing sell sheets that start off as basic OnRamp overview and then get into more specific services that we provide. White papers, great set of white papers here. This changes quite frequently as well. And then case studies, we've got a couple of case studies. One thing about case studies is we're always interested in creating case studies with our partners. We feel that it's beneficial for them and for us. So yes, we've got a couple listed here, but there's also a rotation that goes on with these case studies. So if any of y'all are interested in creating a case study with us, we'd certainly like to discuss it. And then my favorite thing here is this OnRamp battle card. So this is really helpful for partners that have, again, whether it's a single sales representative or a large sales force, the battle card is a very useful tool that someone can keep in their office or keep in their cubicle and use it to address questions about OnRamp, overcome objections, etc. So again, we've got a number of tools here to help our partners be successful. So moving along, let's go to the Opportunities tab. So over here, this is where a partner would go to either register deals or track his or her activity with existing deals that are already registered. So if you click on Overview, you've got just really a description of the benefits of deal registration as well as the eligibility and requirements. If you go to, I'm going to skip Find Deals for now and go to Register a Deal. So this is where, as you might imagine, you would go to register a deal, but I want to show what information is required. So we want information about the contact and the company, and then here's a space where the partner can add a bit more of a description. This doesn't mean that as soon as we get this information, we're going to call your customer. We're not going to reach out to your customer unless you tell us we can do so. And in my experience, I've seen attitudes about that vary from partner to partner. Some want us to reach out to them directly. Some want us to work everything through them. We follow the partner's lead on that, and we're happy either way. But we do want to get that information. So we know what we're working with, and secondly, this is how we make sure that we're not already working this deal, or that they're not an existing customer, etc. So let's look at find deals. And again, this is where a partner would go to track their activity. And I've got a couple of sample leads and a sample opportunity in here. But as you can see, things are sorted by pending deals and approved opportunities. Pending deals are those that have been submitted but have not yet been approved. And by approved, I mean just checked out to make sure, again, it's not an existing customer, it's not already been registered by another partner, etc. But you've got basic information here, which is helpful. Mainly the status, when it was updated, when it was last modified, etc. And also, I'd like to point out up here, there are some shortcuts. So if you ever want to go back and you have a question about how we view deal registration, here you go. You want to register another one, you can do that right here. It's very user-friendly the way this is laid out. When it comes to approved opportunities, these are opportunities that we have approved and that are officially registered. And what you can do here is a number of things. One is you can see the information that's provided. So stage is, we have a variety of stages in our CRM, which is salesforce.com. And this portal is fully integrated with salesforce.com. So once an opportunity or a lead is submitted, it's in our CRM. Your channel manager has visibility to it. He or she can make updates to the opportunity. You will see those. And as you make updates to the opportunity, he or she will see those. So it's fully integrated, which is very helpful. But the stage, the stage varies from qualified to quoted to, there are several others, but all the way to closed won. But I'm bringing this up because once a partner has a long list of opportunities, this is like a snapshot the partner can go to see of the opportunities that have been submitted, where all of them stand, including the ones that have closed. Also, you can provide, you can adjust the opportunities or provide updates. So there's some fields here that can be altered, and again, that'll be reflected in our CRM. And then you can add additional notes here as well. This one looks like it needs to move very quickly, and we certainly like to see those. So one other thing I'll show you on this page is the ability to export this data. So if a partner wants to create reports or use this to track how things are going with the opportunities they've submitted to OnRamp, or show them to their superior or whatever, the point here is this data can easily be exported for reporting capabilities. So, other things here, you've got news and events, which is somewhat self-explanatory, but this is a great place to go to keep up to date on what's newsworthy and where we'll be. It's also a really good source for relevant information to share with your prospects and customers about OnRamp. So not only does it talk about events, but also recognition that we've received, etc. So this is always, and again, it's fresh. It's kept up to date by our team on a regular basis. So this is a good place to go when you're looking for additional information or relevant information. And then the support tab is a place where you can go to get or to find out how to contact a variety of groups at OnRamp. So you don't have to waste a bunch of time trying to hunt groups down. All the information is right here, which again is very helpful. So we'll go back to the home page, and the only things I really want to highlight here are just the fact that we've got information here on the right about just reviews that we've received, either about OnRamp as a company or about our partner program. Again, this is information that's kept up to date. It's not, we just don't hang things up here that are a couple years old and keep them there. So it's actively managed. And then here's some shortcuts for getting to the most used areas of functionality in the portal. whether it's for opportunity registration or to our sales and marketing tools. So that's really it. The portal, as you've seen, it has a very simple layout. It has great content and useful tools to help save our partners time so they can serve their customers better. And really, whether it's training, dedicated resources, or tools like this portal, we want to make it easy for our partners to work with us. So I appreciate everyone's time, and I'm going to go back now and address whatever questions we have. Okay, let's see. I can get to a few of them. First question I have is, how do you go about training your partners? That varies. So different partners have different training needs. Some partners have just a few people that are selling. Some have large number of sales representatives. Some have technical teams. Some have people that do both. The point is, we will customize training based around what the partner needs. But it starts with just an overview, making sure the partner is comfortable with identifying opportunities, how to get OnRamp involved, etc. But the way we look at it, the more training a partner wants, the better. We can do sales training. We can do technical training. We love to have partners come on site and tour our data center, meet our support staff, etc. So there are a lot of options there. I have another question here that says, what is the profile of a successful partner? That also varies, but I would say the number one qualification is they've got to be committed to the relationship and they've got to be engaged. It really boils down to how often a partner is working with customers that need our services. Partners that are quite effective right now or quite active right now, we see a lot of MSPs that are either born in the cloud that have been providing managed services all along, or infrastructure or cloud-related services all along, or those that are transitioning from more of a on-site service or hardware type business to more of a cloud or infrastructure as a service type business. So many MSPs are making that transition. They're looking for more opportunities to earn monthly recurring revenue. They're looking for more opportunities to add value to their customers when it comes to cloud or co-location or hosting, etc. So we see a lot of those. Also, the same could be said for more traditional resellers. We're seeing more of those make a transition from selling hardware on-prem to either selling hosted solutions or providing or selling co-location services. For a traditional reseller that's used to selling hardware, getting OnRamp involved as a data center provider is really not a stretch because they're still selling the hardware. We're just providing a place for that hardware to reside and the power and the connectivity and the services around that. And then lastly, application developers are quite useful or quite active as well. Application developers are working with customers that need infrastructure, and we're certainly happy to provide that infrastructure for them. I've got about 1 minute left, so I'll do one more question. As far as partner types are concerned, is one more beneficial than the other? I guess that's referring to referral partners versus resellers. So no, one's not better than the other. It really depends on the partner's business model and how their customers want to work with them. So it boils down really to the billing relationship. If that end user wants to bill or wants to work directly with OnRamp and have us bill them, and they want to work directly with us from a support standpoint, then that is a scenario where that partner would be working as a referral partner. If the partner's business model is set up to where they are a one-stop shop for their customers and they want to take on the billing responsibilities and provide some support as well for their customers as far as OnRamp is concerned, then the reseller model is a great fit. Either way, as I mentioned earlier, we can accommodate the partner and there are multiple benefits to be had. So it's 1:30 Central on the dot. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I want to thank everyone for joining today, and I hope this was a good use of everyone's time. I think it probably was, and we really appreciate your attendance. My contact information is here. You can contact me. This is how to get in touch with me directly. And also at the bottom, you can always go to partners@onr.com, and that comes directly to the channel team here. So thanks again, everyone, and look forward to working with you and talking to you soon.